Hi.
Hi.
We're talking to Mia Wasikowska. Did I say that
Yes.
correctly? Close enough. We're talking to Mia Wasikowska for the playlist here at the Toronto International Film Festival, where the world premiere of The Double took place last night. What was last night like for you?
It was great. It was the first time that I'd seen the film, so it was really fun and it was really exciting to see it, you know, and hear at this festival. But yeah, it was great.
What did you think of the movie?
I loved it. I loved it so much.
Was it what you expected it to be?
Yes and no. It was. I always really loved this idea. The idea of, you know, however you choose to interpret the film, it's very sort of subjective. But I love the idea of that conflict you have with yourself and the possibility of two different versions of yourself, or you know, different aspects of your character not quite lining up, and also the idea of how we're perceived and what you put out, and how that kind of affects it, or has like a domino effect on the things that happen around you. Yeah.
Is that what you read of the script? What did you think when you first read the script?
I liked the script. It was hard to tell exactly how it was going to be, but when I met Richard, that was when I really sort of started to understand the perspective that he had on it, which was so good. I mean, it's a very hard thing, I think, to pull off without it being like a gimmicky thing. But the thing about Richard is he's able to sort of remain true to the comic aspect of it and the real sort of tragic aspect of the story as well, and to walk that fine line between the real emotional side and the drama, and also it's strangely funny. So I thought it was wonderful. I was really happy with it.
Were you attracted? I mean, was Richard an attraction for you to work with? I mean, was that someone? Yeah,
definitely.
Had you seen his other work?
I absolutely loved Submarine. I thought it was, you know, such a great film, and the same thing as The Double. It had, you know, real drama and really, really funny things as well, which is hard to combine. So I loved that, and then also just like the more I learned about The Double and how he was going to, you know, make this film, the more excited I got about it. So.
Did you create a backstory for Hannah? How did the two of you create the character together? Did you do that?
Kind of, like, you know, we had an intensive rehearsal period. We had 2 weeks where we just went through all the scenes and read them again and again and again, and it really like evolved. It sort of took off from there. And then also Hannah's sort of a lonely person. She's very isolated, and it's sort of a weird world where they live anyway. It's not really specified where they are in the world,
or when,
and so that gave us like a lot of license to sort of think that, you know, we kind of decided that she was probably from somewhere else and ended up here, and is now quite kind of alone, and for whatever reason that is, but she doesn't have, you know, family or any real friends around. So that was fun. That gave us like room to kind of like, and she's also quite like a neurotic character, which was really fun to play.
Was it hard at all to latch on to someone like that, or was it freeing, kind of?
To the character?
Yeah, to the character for you.
Kind of, like, it was really fun because Richard just like imbued an energy into it, which I hadn't initially seen. Like, he in the rehearsal period, basically you know, realized that he really wanted it to like be very like a quick pace, and for it to be very quite fast moving, and all our conversation just everybody's so like kind of at the same time that they're very withdrawn, they're very desperate to like let all this stuff out, so they're always kind of going on this you know, balancing between like being completely shut off and closed off, and then just sort of like this verbal diary that just like comes out and doesn't stop. So that was what was fun to me about playing him.
Great. Did you feel, in the movie, I should just explain for those who haven't seen it, Jesse Eisenberg plays two characters, and they're quite polar opposites.
Yeah.
And then, at times also, they pretend to be the other one.
Yes.
So that gets a little confusing, I think. Did it ever confuse you when you're acting against him?
I really only had scenes with, like, Simon, with the Simon character, the timid, kind of more meek version. And I never had scenes with both of them, so I had a very cruisy time. You know, Jessie was the one that was jumping between character every second of the day, but when I saw it, I was so surprised and so thrilled that there was no confusion whatsoever as to who was who at any point during the story. It was always very evident that, you know, when Simon was Simon and James was James, there was no, like...
it's true, because they look exactly the same, and they're wearing the exact same things most of the time. Yeah. And it's a testament to him that he was able to kind of just do that with his face or his bearing. I don't know.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Had you met him? Had you met Jesse before this film?
No.
So what the film really takes place, as you said, in a kind of timeless, nameless place. The money's not recognizable. The accents are kind of all over the place, right? Yeah. And it's kind of a universal, existential, soul-crushing bureaucracy. Have you ever had a job like that, where it's like a daily grind kind of thing?
You know, not to that extreme, but yeah, I think I've experienced being part of something that you don't feel in any way connected to, or you know, the people in this time are just sort of serving this like figure that they haven't really met. They don't really know what it is, and we don't really know what they're doing either. They just seem to be like photocopying things and adding numbers, and it's like very...
It's just pure bureaucracy.
Unsure what it is. And yes, I guess I sort of have experienced that on a very, you know, small scale.
In a film? The director?
Probably can't say.
I like that. All right. What do you think audiences should take away from the film?
I don't know. I think that it'll be very, you know, up to the individual how they, or what it means to people. I think will be really interesting. But I do think it's
what does it mean to you?
Well, you know,
you don't
really know. I mean, without saying anything that's like inappropriately personal, but I do think it's something that a lot of people struggle with, this idea of like how they're perceived, and it's just, you know, the irony of like this man that is like such a do-gooder and is so invisible, and then this version of him that is looks sort of exactly the same, but somehow is just like a little bit more like confident and charismatic, and he just happens to kind of have the world wrapped around his little finger.
It's unjust.
It does, but it also speaks for like how you portray it. I don't really know. It's like to be continually analysed. Yeah. But that idea of like, I don't know. It's sort of a mystery, and then also that conflict between like feeling like there's different versions of you and not being quite sure.
Have you read the Dostoevsky? Yeah, I have. How similar is it, not having read it?
It's pretty similar in like tone and feel. I think my character's not really, I mean, she's like mentioned a couple of times, but she's not really like featured in the novel. But it was the most useful thing about reading the story is just getting a sense of that like paranoid, very erratic kind of character of, you know, that is Simon and James sort of characters, and just how untrustworthy, I guess, the world feels, or how there's nothing quite reliable about anybody.
Nothing what it seems.
There's nothing that kind of grounds you in anything.
What was the? I felt like I wish that it had been daylight when I came out, because I wanted to see some sunshine afterwards. After all that, what was the set like? Was it just a big warehouse of darkness?
Well, it was mostly night shoots. I think for like 5 weeks, I think they shot night shoots, and they shot a couple of nights. But yeah, the movie takes place all at night. But you know, anything that's inside, we probably shot in the daytime, and then everything that's outside would be night shoots.
Was it what kind of place was it?
Oh, we were filming in an abandoned business estate in England. So it was called Crowthorne, and it's near Wokingham or something like that.
Okay.
So it's on the outskirts of London, and it was basically an abandoned business estate, and it's very understandable why it's abandoned. Very desolate.
Well, last night at the premiere, Richard was in rare form. Was he like? He was hilarious and had the audience just cracking up. You didn't really get to say much on stage at all. Was it like? What was it like on set with him every day? Someone asked him that last night about whether he was always just funny and had to switch to be serious. What was it like working with him?
He's a normal human being. He's whenever you're at those things, you're sort of on show in a different way to how you are in any other personal situation. So everybody sort of has like a public way of being, and he just happens to be like incredibly funny. But yeah, he's like any other person. He's great. He's super sensitive to the actors and just runs a really smooth set and is very respected and respectful of everybody. Yeah, he's great.
What's next for you?
I'm about to start filming Madame Bovary in France in about 3 weeks' time, so it should be fun.
Different kinds of challenges.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Do you like period pieces?
I do, but I don't intentionally do them. I think it's kind of annoying that it's a period film because I don't want necessarily mean to get a period film thing, but it's such a good character and it's really different to I guess the other characters that I've done that are period films. But yeah, it's fun.
I just have to. I loved Jane Eyre, and but I also loved. What a movie I loved was That Evening Sun.
Oh, cool!
It's such a beautiful movie. I interviewed Hal Holbrook a long time.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, for that. He was wonderful.
Yeah.
And I just wondered if you saw Michael Fassbender. Have you seen?
No, I haven't.
Have you seen 12 Years a
No,
Slave?
I really want to.
It's powerful. It's
Cool.
Good stuff.
Awesome.
Good
Yeah,
stuff.
I really want to see it.
All right. Well, thank you so
Cool.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks for talking to the playlist.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.